It was time for a new era of football at Georgia Tech. Not only were they able to lure over head coach Deion Sanders, but he also brought his son Shedeur Sanders and former #1 recruit Travis Hunter to the Yellow Jackets. Can this big three bring Georgia Tech to the top? The new dynasty starts now, and it begins with a quarterback battle. See, Jeff Sims was also a junior, and he looked better than Shedeur, but Coach Sanders wanted his son to start, so he moved him up the depth chart, and he was our starter in week 1. Georgia State had the ball first, and Travis Hunter was ready to show out on defense. Unfortunately, he dropped this chance at an interception on the Panthers' first drive, so they were able to score first. Anyway, it was time to see the new quarterback, and Shedeur Sanders was moving the Yellow Jacket offense down the field effortlessly on his first drive ever. Well, he was until junior safety Jalen Tate read the pitch like a book and snagged it for himself. He would take it all the way back to the house and put us down 10 points. However, Shedeur was quickly forgiven as he found sophomore wide receiver Malik Rutherford on the last play of the first quarter, and he would outrun everybody for a 74-yard touchdown run. After that, Shedeur Sanders and the rest of our offense seemed to have hit a rhythm, continuing to move the ball and taking a lead on the Panthers. We could have gotten a huge 4th down stop, but 2 of our cornerbacks ran into each other, and the Georgia State receiver took advantage of that. From there, they would end up going back up 3, but Dante Smith responded back at the end of the half, so we were up 4, and Shedeur Sanders looked like he was going to hold on to the starting job playing this way. We continued to pull away in the 3rd quarter, and even Jeff Sims got to come in as the backup and dominate the Panthers. Deion's son had a solid first game, but Shedeur Sanders was struggling on the road against ranked Auburn, and TJ Finley started the game off by delivering a dot and putting his team up 6. The Auburn defense was giving us all sorts of issues, and they were even taunting us. So Shedeur didn't take that level of disrespect, throwing a bomb on the Tigers and hitting senior Kalani Morris in stride for the 56-yard play. However, success didn't last long as he threw his 2nd interception of the game, so we needed to step up on defense to stay in it, and when TJ Finley took off, the opportunity for a big hit and a fumble arose, which is exactly what happened. From there, we would end up finally scoring and tying the game, but then Tanks Bigsby scored a 65-yard touchdown, and after that, Shedeur Sanders left the entire stadium speechless. He somehow escaped the sack and multiple tackles on this run and would miraculously take it all the way to the house to tie it up. To start the 4th quarter, our defense got a crucial stop on the Tigers, but then Shedeur's final straw happened. Not only did he throw another interception on a terrible read, but they also returned it and took it into the end zone going up 7. So Deion had no choice but to pull his son and put Jeff Sims in. However, he was no better, also throwing an inaccurate ball and interception to Auburn. Our defense was able to come up clutch and force a 3-and-out though, so we had one more chance. And Jeff Sims and Nate McCollum were hooking up for big gains and moving us down the field with an opportunity to tie it up. But after some poor clock management, we had one last chance to send it, and in the end, the Hail Mary did not work out. So we lost our first game of the year, but that wouldn't be the end of the world. Deion Sanders and Georgia Tech could still make a bowl game, but Shedeur Sanders was not off to a good start against Wake Forest with this throw. And unfortunately, we would end up going down early to Sam Hartman and the Demon Deacons. Deion Sanders would have no choice but to bench his son again if he had one more bad drive, and after he continued to struggle to move the ball down the field, junior quarterback Jeff Sims took the field to start the 2nd quarter. But our offense still wasn't performing well, at least it wasn't until the end of the first half, when Jeff Sims decided to use his cannon of an arm to hook up with junior receiver Ryan King for the 58-yard stunner. Midway through the 3rd quarter, we fell behind 7, and Jeff Sims really wasn't capitalizing on his opportunity. But Dante Smith got us right back in it. However, with 3 minutes left in the game, Wake Forest took control with this play. But again, that didn't last long. I think we were finally witnessing the breakout of a star wide receiver in Ryan King. He took this pass 79 yards to the house untouched. And then on 3rd down, our defense got a stop that would change everything for us. We were going to get the ball back with a minute left in the game, and Travis Hunter put us in a great field position with this return. But we didn't even have to settle for 3 because once again, Jeff Sims found his favorite receiver Ryan King, and we went up 7, which got us the massive win. We were playing an undefeated Louisville team, and after our comeback win last week, Jeff Sims had earned the starting spot. But his favorite target, Ryan King, dropped an easy touchdown, so we had to settle for an early 3. However, he made up for the drop by holding on to this laser from Jeff Sims midway through the 2nd quarter. Louisville finally got on the board, and they could have easily tied up the game in the 3rd, but our defense was clutch and locked the Cardinals up. However, Evan Conley got Louisville into the end zone just minutes later, and with 2 minutes left in the game, we were in a terrible position. Jeff Sims tried his hardest to get us down the field, but he had not had a good game, and Deion really wanted to put his son back in. Obviously, we ended up losing, and the following week, Shedeur Sanders was back to being our starting quarterback. And we scored on our first drive. Following up that amazing start, Shedeur Sanders continued to take advantage of his starting opportunity, by throwing this 41-yard touchdown bomb to Nate McCollum. But at the end of the first half, DJ threw this touchdown pass to make it a one-possession game, and he was going off. He broke a sack and threw a dot over Travis Hunter to tie it back up, and he continued to kill us on fourth down, giving our defense all sorts of problems, which ended up leading to another touchdown. And we had completely fallen apart as a team. Will Shipley ended up scoring Clemson's fourth straight touchdown on us with this run, and in the end, we had completely choked at home against the Tigers, and we had a lot of work to do if we wanted to make a bowl game. We were playing undefeated North Carolina, and Shedeur Sanders was waiting way too long in the pocket before he threw it. The Tar Heels ended up getting on the board first, and with time running out in the second quarter, we were already down 28-0, and it wasn't looking any better for us. So once again, Deion Sanders had no choice but to bench his son, and Jeff Sims was going to have another opportunity. And he delivered on his first drive, getting us into the end zone. However, our defense still didn't come to play, which was making it impossible to come back. Even though we continued to score on the Tar Heels, it didn't stop Jacoby Criswell from dropping 52 on our head. But we had a chance to bounce back against a winless Virginia team. However, it was not going very well. Once again, Deion tried to give his son a chance to shine, but it wasn't working out, so Jeff Sims was back in the game and moving the ball, which led to our first touchdown. And on the last play of the half, Ryan King put us up 4. But unfortunately, he wasn't very good at winning jump balls, and that definitely showed. Anyway, in the end, we were able to secure the win, and it was all because of running back Dante Smith. Jeff Sims didn't start our game at Duke on a good note, missing throws, but we finally scored at the end of the first quarter, and our defense was holding up pretty well. The first half was pretty boring, so one of the most exciting plays was surprisingly when junior punter David Shanahan pinned the Blue Devils all the way down inside the 5 with the crazy bounce on the ball. However, that didn't stop Duke from driving 95 yards down the field on us and scoring. To start the second half, we could have had an early touchdown, but Jeff Sims underthrew Nate McCollum and he couldn't break free. Fortunately, that didn't matter because he ended up making an insane play later in the quarter, finding Avery Boyd with this beautiful dot and putting us up 4. It looked like Jeff Sims was running away with the starting job, but then he tried to thread the needle in the red zone, and that turnover could be very costly. Derek Allen could have practically ended the game if he would have just held on to the ball here, but instead we got the massive stop we needed on fourth down. From there, Dante Smith would run out the clock, and Jeff Sims got it done once again. We needed to win 2 of our next 4 to make a bowl game, and we were hosting the Miami Hurricanes. But unfortunately, we went down early because of this Tyler Van Dyke run, and by the second quarter, because our players' lack of ability to make a tackle on running back Henry Parrish, we fell down 21-0. With a minute left before the half, our defense had outscored our offense until Jeff Sims bombed the Hurricanes, hitting Nate McCollum for a 47-yard gain. And then on our next play, Jeff Sims took it in for 6. But our defense was playing so bad, giving up another touchdown before halftime. And surprise, surprise, that bad play continued into the third quarter with Henry Parrish running up the score on us. After this throw from Jeff Sims, it was clear that we weren't going to win this game, and it was embarrassing to perform like this in front of our home crowd. Deion Sanders was getting boozed by the end of the game, and Henry Parrish had obliterated us. We were playing at Pitt, and Travis Hunter got absolutely railed on the opening kickoff return. We were once again struggling to move the ball, and after Jeff Sims continued to make plays like this, Deion wanted to put his son back in the game. But he couldn't because Jeff finally got us into the end zone, and then midway through the second quarter, he did it again. We went up 7 at the end of the first half, but that lead didn't last long as we gave it up just minutes into the third quarter. However, Jeff Sims and Malik Rutherford responded right back, and all of a sudden, we were going back and forth with the Panthers. With 34 seconds left in the game, Jeff Sims had a chance to lead us down the field for a field goal, but he couldn't do that, so we had to go into overtime against Pitt, and it couldn't have started off any better with perfect blocks and a beautiful screen play by Dante Smith. And then our defense came up clutch, stopping Pitt on a huge 4th and 3, so we became 5-5. It was the Battle of the Techs, and surprisingly, we were off to a great start scoring early. Backup running back Dylan McDuffie was getting it going as well, breaking away this huge run at the end of the first quarter. From there, starting running back Dante Smith would put us up 11, and Jeff Sims was delivering absolute lasers across the field as we continued to extend our lead. It looked like we were going to win the Battle of the Techs, and that was confirmed when we held the Hokies on the goal line midway through the fourth quarter. Dante Smith had an amazing game, and we were now bowl eligible. It was rivalry week at number 5 Georgia, and the rain plus a bad pass from Jeff Sims got us off to a horrible start where the drop pass turned into an interception that was taken back all the way for 6. With 2 minutes left in the first quarter, Jeff Sims got us back within one possession, and then we took the lead here, but that didn't last long, and it wasn't pretty by halftime. However, that didn't discourage Jeff Sims at all, but it didn't matter. In the end, we weren't able to beat our rivals, but our bowl game was set, and it was a tough one. Next year would probably entail another QB battle, so that would be interesting to see how it goes. For now, we had the most lopsided bowl matchup I'd seen in a while against number 11 Utah, and unfortunately, Tavion Thomas put the Utes on the board first. And then to end the first quarter, Jeff Sims threw this interception in the red zone. But we were surprisingly able to tie up the game on this play, and surprisingly, we took a lead at the end of the half. Our defense held strong on this 4th down play, and then we were able to do it again a couple minutes later. By the 4th quarter, we still had a 7-point lead over the Utes, but Shedeur Sanders had to come in because Jeff Sims bruised his ribs, and Deion decided to keep him out. Shedeur ended up giving us a 2-possession lead, and then we got the final stop to secure the win. We recovered the fumble, and that would end the game, so Deion Sanders would finally celebrate his first bowl win, and it felt good to win the Holiday Bowl.